really about a movement that is starting in Australia, and that movement is really around women of colour rising, taking control of their narratives and taking control of their stories. Today's event was about the community coming together at a grassroots level, creating collective change and action for generations to come.
It's to represent women of color and saying that we're not just like on the margins, we're not just the token, we're not just, the 1% that makes up the office, cultural diversity, but we are the people that are here and are taking up the space and are valued. And I love that, because it's just like, as people of minority cultures or people of different ethnicities, sometimes it's sad because it's like, where do I fit in? But it's like, you belong here. And that's what I love about We Are the Mainstream, that they do that and they welcome people in and they say, hey, you're here.
What I love most about it is that it allows us to tap into our inner collective wisdom. We have everything and all the tools that we need, and giving us this space is just a wonderful moment in time that I hope for it to grow into much more.
I felt like today was so great because we got, there were ideas that maybe we didn't have before that an auntie shared, which was like, instead of sharing our torture and our trauma, which we all know we have, it's actually what kind of medicine can we give instead. I mean, obviously the healing is going to happen, the trauma is still there, and that's where the therapy comes in, that's that real self-love things. To hear that today in a room full of other BIPOC women of colour was just like transcending. Today's experience was transcending.
I found it really useful to hear what they were saying about how often whiteness and capitalism are the reasons that people of colour experience a lot of mental health issues. It really resonated with me, and I'm going to see how I can start to give less of myself to my workplace and to the white system around me to try and bolster myself up.
I think my biggest takeaway from it is like, if you're already privileged, use that privilege to bring up other people, especially women of color, and open the doors. Don't be scared to ask for what you deserve. As long as you have already worked for it, you have something to offer. You are a woman of value anyway, so make sure that you create that opportunity for another person. I think that's my biggest takeaway from the event.
Today I've actually felt like a part of the mainstream, which I have never felt before. And something that I've learned is that we need to just make the space for ourselves and make the change for ourselves that we want to see, and we can't wait for anyone else to do that for us.
There is still always going to be us having these conversations about, what it means to decolonize our minds, or opening up spaces for people of color or women of color. But also in this space is healing and the ability for us to talk and have open discussions. And so that's important, and we thank you, and I can't wait for more.
The most important words I heard today is, how can I use my privilege? And by privilege, it's economic privilege. Privilege is my educational privilege. Privilege is my ability to meet and connect with other people, to not just shake their hand, but to give them a hand up and to say, it's okay, I can help you. That's what I learned today.
To me today, I actually got 2 mentors. So this is incredible to find women of color that come together in this incredible space. Is just amazing to also be impacted upon, not only in the words and the motivation that is driven through this process, but actually tangibly get something out of it, like mentorship. I think that is the bomb.
I am inspired by literally every person that's in this room today, and I can't wait to see what actually happens out of this, because I think we see a lot of the negatives. We see a lot of the things that happen to us, but to see people actually saying, hey, we want to make a difference, we want to change this, and this is how we're going to do it, this is our path forward, is incredible.
I'm feeling incredibly uplifted. I think it's quite rare to find communities of BIPOC people who actually have each other's backs. Like, I've always walked into these communities, they're being a little bit competitive, or I'm a bit worried or skeptical, but I just feel like there's a huge community that I have now, and I'm feeling really inspired to go out there and, you know, say we are the mainstream.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yay!